Okay. Press the button, click the button. Move this.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is the workshop where you choose your car and
It's gonna be
tires.
red this time.
This is
There's two. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Oh, I can just not break them. Okay. Ah, okay. I do need to break them. Ah. Maybe I do need to break that now. Who are the runners on the two runs?
congratulations, you.
Dude,
This is the workshop where you
don't do
choose
this
your
to me
car
again.
and tires. Click. This is where.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. Those are the two current moderators and the two currently active runners. Well, I guess there's three moderators, but the third mod is like very inactive from what I understand. This is true. Mr. X does have kind of a funny voice, doesn't he? I always thought he was so cool when I was growing up. I was like, dude, I want to be like him, man. He's got this thing, if you turn him off, then he'll come back every once in a while, and he'll be like, by the way, you can turn it back on by like pressing the button. All right. But anyway, thanks. Bye for now. And bye for now used to be such a massive vocal stim for me.
This is where.
He was like, okay, bye for now. And I would say that so much as a kid. It was so funny. I suppose. I don't know, like he was just cool. I want to be cool when I grow up, I guess was the premise, the gist. I want to do cool things. I want to be a cool guy that does cool things. He's got his own island, bro. He's got his own island. This is his island. We're doing the championship race on this island. Okay. Does it do the thing? Wait, huh? Hello? Okay.
Congratulations, you've won a race.
I've won a race.
This is the work.
Okay.
This is.
Anyway. Oh, it's this level that the thing happens on. Okay. Da-da-da. Okay, jam truck. No jam truck. Okay. Got two boosts. Okay, we're good there. Okay, we're good here too. That was like not great, but not suboptimal as well. Oh, nope. That is suboptimal though. That's all good. We'll make it work. No, jam! Ugh. Okay, check this out. Whoa, dude, where did I go?
Congratulations, you've...
Radiant phone.
Click here. This is the workshop
Oh,
where you
I
choose
don't
your
want to
car
do
and tires. Click on... This is...
Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay, I prevented Radiant from getting the boost, so this is important. Okay. So, jam truck. Urgh. Get jammed. Nerd. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the freeform mode, like, it's got a few bugs that make it so that the championship is not completable, but I would like to fix those bugs and make it so that you can actually complete the campaign in freeform mode, because freeform mode is like way more difficult and interesting. It's the mode that the game was originally intended to be played as, where the game does not control your car's turning ability. It just controls it just, you know, you hit walls and then you hit walls, but you have control over how your car turns and moves. Okay. I jammed him real good. We're gonna pick Lucy.
This is where...
Lucy? We're gonna pick Lucky. Why did I say Lucy, bro? We're gonna pick Lucky. Let's see if you like Lucky's sound, man. I forgot Lucky's sound. It's very good. How am I running so much worse on time this time? What did I do? Was City 4 that bad? What happened? Eesh. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Her face is so funny when she does it. She's like unamused. She's like, bruh.
Congratulations, you've won a race. Click on the flashing... This is the workshop. This is...
True. 18-second difference. The yellow advantage. I agree. We'll switch away from Lucky after this race, if I remember. Ooh. No! Please. This is not ideal. No, please. Come on, bro. Okay. Whee! Okay. I don't think I can finish this in the next 8 seconds, unfortunately. So... But, okay. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Congratulations, you've won a
Okay.
race.
Next try. Dude, let's be
Click
wrench.
here.
Yeah, there
This
you
is
go.
what
That will be wrench. No, please. Come on. Immediately responds. Good omen, good omen. Hits a car. Also good omen. It's so funny how big Mr. X's car is compared to everyone else's car. Like, look at the scale difference. Like, it is so funny. Everybody just has, like, their very normal sized cars. And Mr. X is like, oh yeah, my car is like twice as big as yours, bro. Get trolled, bro. Oh, dude, double trolled. Holy cow. Okay. I guess wrench is probably, like, the least annoying. I don't know if it's possible to avoid that bumpy patch before the start one. I'm trying to think. I don't think it is possible. That was not great. This is true. Yeah, I don't think it's possible to avoid that guy.
Congratulations, you've won a race.
I've won a race.
This is where we
It's true. It's true. He's the guy that knows how to fix cars, bro. No! Dude, what am I doing? Nice. Dusted, bro? Holy cow. Completely dusted. No. Okay. It's fine. It's the last lap. Okay. Dude, we get to play Baron. Baron.
Congratulations, you've won a race.
Congratulations, I've won a race.
This is
No! It put me on Baron's car. Okay, well, whatever. Alright, well, I guess that's fine. it's like run suboptimal, right? But no, dude, why did you respawn me all the way over here? Okay, whatever. Ah, see, I knew he would do that. Nice. Okay. That's really funny that I forgot to switch away from the car. Because I'm pretty sure what the intention for this mechanic was supposed to be was that you switch to the car after the race, but because this code gets run like before the race, well, like when you are on said race, it is just like, oh yeah, by the way, let me change your car now
Well
instead,
done.
which is kind of funny.
This is the workshop where you choose your car. This is where we look at. This is the work.
Give me that.
This is
Where we look at. Let's go! Let's go! Ugh, jeez, no, please. Okay. What in the world? Dude, they're running all into me, bro. You haven't seen Twisty Tracks until I get to the jungle, which is where I'm at right now. This place has massively twisty tracks. And also the, like, ice part, I guess. The Arctic. No, please. This is not great. Make it be known, I pledge to figure out the source of the
Congratulations, you've won a race. This is the
freeform bug. The source of the freeform bug. And if I am able to patch it out of the game so that it can be possible to beat the campaign in freeform, because I would love to see that become a category, because holy cow, is this game way harder when you actually have to control the car and not just hold forward and occasionally go to the left or right side of this road. It's insane how much harder the game becomes. I understand why they changed it. It is a shame, but I understand why they changed it. It's true. In the character select, Yeah, I mean, I think his voice lines for any video clips that play. So in character select and also like after a race. You know. Oh jeez. This is not good, okay. That's fine. It worked out. Worked out anyway. Okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Yeah, he's super loud in here.
Congratulations,
Alright.
you've won a race.
Jungle 3. I have to like
This
think
is the
about which
workshop.
race it is.
This is where
Because it's not just like highlighted. I don't know. Okay, this one's free. All I have to do is just sit here and hold forward and then activate my power-ups at the right time. I also think that the X car has like a longer like time for power-ups. I think that it literally just can use power-ups for longer, which is kind of crazy. Oh man, I should have not done that while I was turning. I forgot that that happens. Time loss. This is suboptimal. I could have been doing much better right now. Get out of my way, brother. Okay.
congratulations, you've won a race.
Okay, Jungle 4.
Click. This is
Oh, it's this one. Jungle 4. Jungle 4! Let me finish my lines. True. True. It's like, bro, you keep interrupting me. I'm trying to tell you about the game. Oh, jeez. Come on. I'm not doing too great. Okay, there we go. We're getting better, we're getting better. Oh, the Crusher! I should have seen this coming. Oh, no. It's true. It's true. Mr. X has the best car in the game, and yet I still beat him. Kinda crazy. If there was a like corner piece that was a hazard, it would be possible to make an entire track that was a hazard, so that if you didn't get through the hazards properly, it would just respawn you at the start. So you would need to like redo the entire lap. That would be very funny. Dude, I'm trolling so hard. Indeed, this is true. This is true, Triangular. Proven time and time again by people that crashed sports cars right out of the dealership.
congratulations, you.
The snake.
This is the workshop where you choose your car and tire.
It's the
This is
workshop where I choose my car and tires. Why does the lava sound like that? Whoa! We're doing it. I know, right? You haven't even seen Barney's yet. I think it is widely considered that Barney has the most annoying voice lines out of all of the characters. I will switch to Barney for Arctic, just to you know, keep with the theme. Keep with the theme. Actually, you know what? I should switch characters for every theme. That would be funny. This would be a good bit to incorporate into runs. So I would do the city with Chip. I would do the desert with Wrench. I would do the jungle with Lucky.
fantastic.
And then I would
You
do...
have defeated Snake.
I've defeated Snake. Anyway, okay.
This is the workshop where you choose your car and tire. This is where we...
On brand, character switch percent. Yeah, and then now we make it blue for Arctic. Ugh. I told you it was bad. Hello, Renblanc. Welcome. Congratulations on your daily nothing. Oh yeah, if you jump every time you jump, it makes like a sound. It's very funny. He really is like the personification of the nerd emoji. Congratulations, Liquid Cake, on your daily nothing. Holy cow, I can't speak. I'm too locked in. I apologize. You know how it is when you're like locked in on speedrunning, Lego Stunt Rally in particular, and then you just lose the ability to learn how to speak. Come on. Okay. Arctic Bone.
No!
Congratulations,
Okay.
you've won. This is...
I like the Arctic music. The Arctic music is very good. it's very exciting. Hello. You get frozen, bro. Get frozen, bro. I did warn you that you were gonna get frozen. that's gonna immediately obliterate me. And, oh. Okay. We take those. We take those. That was a little funny corner thing that I did there. Maybe I should, like, get a grippier with ours. I don't know. I don't know. This is probably not gonna be, like, a good run anyway, but, you know, we'll just, I got past Baron Flambeau. That's, like, the important part. Oh, okay. What? We got an ad starting in a sec. I hate ads! Ah! John Twitch Pete, please let me turn off ads. The one upside of advertisements on my stream are, I can subsidize a ticket to TwitchCon. This is true. The VPN trick. The trick they don't want you to know. Okay, Arctic 2!
Congratulations.
Okay, Arctic 3 now.
This is...
Pay for Twitch Turbo. You're also subbed though, so like you double don't get ads. Oh no! Why did I stop? It's fine. I was trying to do fan skip, but it was 7 ads. Yeah. Ads on twitch.television, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. I put it on the building. This is very funny. Alright. Enjoy getting ready for work. Thank you, Tabula. This run will be over soon. This is like the last we're in the last 4 races right now. Thank you, thank you. I hope you have a good day at work. Oh, jeez. No! No!
Congratulations, you've won a race.
Alright, Arctic 4.
This is the workshop where you choose your...
This is where... the workshop where you choose your... That's fair. Hello, you're gonna get iced. Or not. I'm just gonna slide off and die with my power. That works too. Oh, jeez. Oh, shit. Get out of my way, Radium. Oh, get trolled. Oh no! Tragic. Tragedy. What is he doing? Get out of my way! Dude, he was stuck. He got stuck. He wasn't sure what to do. He was like, what's happening?
No.
You're just in time for Glacia.
Click here.
No,
This is where
I do not want to be in Glacier's
This is
stupid monster truck. Maybe I should have picked, maybe I should have picked better tires. It's all good. Haha. I totally just caused that. That was pretty good. Oh man, I forgot. The X car gets crazy air. Why did you turn around? No, she has ice. Get out of here. I don't want to get iced. We will see. We will see. Oh no! Not this bug, bro. Come on! Okay. This happens sometimes. And it's super annoying. And there's not really a good way to cause it to stop happening. And it can be run-ended. Depending on how bad it messes you up. Like, right now, I think she's a good, like, lap ahead now. Well, not lap, but, like, half a lap, for sure. Okay. No! Okay, yeah. She's already started on the next lap here. And got past this area. Can I catch up? Maybe. Oh, dude, come on. Okay. Yeah, I... Not very likely. Yeah. I have lost the race. Okay. So we're gonna retry that. We're gonna retry that. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I will still have a run. I will still have a run of some sort. Jeez. We can be, if you'd like to be. Go lock in. Whoa. The spin. Dude, stop! Seriously. It almost might be worth not picking the X car for this track. Because it's specifically, like, the characteristics of the X car. It has, really low mass, if I remember correctly, that cause it to just do this, and it's so irritating. Oh, Glacier's really close behind. This is, like, uncomfortably close behind. Okay, that was fine. I just had to be really gentle on the accelerator. Man, that was not great. Okay, we did Glacia. Or maybe High Mass? I don't know. I don't know, man. Yes, the song is also meant to be annoying. Okay.
You have beat.
Do I beat Glacia? Oh, let's switch back to Chip.
This is the workshop
Okay.
where you choose your car.
This is the
and
workshop
tires.
where you choose your car and
Click on the
tires.
blue race button. This is where we look at who is competing in the race.
Okay, anyway. I don't know how physics works. Nice skip. We got the loop skip on accident. Let's keep it trying. I guess I was kind of trying, but not really. Dude, no. I hate when that happens. The fans are like almost purely RNG, and it's so annoying. Oh, jeez. Whole apples. Dude, no. Do not spin out, please. Okay, that didn't save me any time. In fact, it just trolled me. Almost did a loop skip. That time on purpose. I gotta make a loop skip training course. That's just loop skip. It's just corners and then loop going in a circle or something. Okay, I gotta remember to break there. Here. Hit that. Break. Oh! No! Okay. I made the same mistake that Mr. X did that last when we were doing it. When we were running. No, that's gonna crush me. Oh, wait. Okay, no. The timing, I was off on the timing a little bit. Whoa. I just thought of something crazy. You could remember how long the like crusher is. Dude, we did it. 44:57. GG. Okay. That's okay. It's decent.
Congratulations.
It's